Alright YouTube, so we're back, of course, to talk about some Final Fantasy, and today we have updates for both State of Play, but also Summer Game Fest. And when it comes to State of Play, I wasn't planning on talking about it or really discussing that event before it actually happens, because at this point it's only 2 days away. Didn't even think there would be any updates for the event, but there actually is. So what we have today is the PlayStation Twitter account, the official account, tweeted out a video hyping up the event, just a little 13-second video, but randomly in the top left corner of the video is the Summer Game Fest logo. And I say randomly, of course, because prior to today, we had no indication that these gaming events would be connected. Like, we speculated potentially that maybe they could do like a 16 tease at State of Play, and then maybe like a big reveal at Summer Game Fest. That's one way maybe that they could have been connected. And that would have been a very loose connection, because that would have just been like the plan that Square Enix wanted to do to kind of roll out information for 16 that doesn't necessarily make the gaming events connected in any way. So as far as we knew up until before today, like, these were separate gaming events. We're going to have State of Play on the 2nd, and then a week later on the 9th, they're going to do Summer Game Fest, and that was going to be it. No different than an E3 and a Tokyo Game Show, right? But for some reason, today, we just randomly find out that there's some sort of collaboration between the two, but I don't think we know what that is. Because they linked to an article, but it's just the article we looked at the other day. So it's kind of hard to say exactly what this collaboration is between the gaming events, outside of maybe there's going to be shit shown at State of Play in a smaller capacity, and maybe there's more going to be shown at Summer Game Fest, or maybe it's like Sony's way of letting you know that anything that's maybe not shown at State of Play could then be shown at Summer Game Fest, or I don't know. It's not really too different than, like, we've seen stuff at like State of Play is being shown before, and then more information for those games shown at later events. We can use Remake as an example. Whenever we got the State of Play trailer in 2019, at the end of the trailer, that let us know there's going to be more information coming in June. June at the time then was E3 2019. There's, of course, no E3 this year, but what we have is Summer Game Fest, so all signs to me are just kind of pointing towards the potential of what we talked about earlier in this video, and also in a previous video, where they can maybe, in terms of the Square Enix side of stuff, maybe show some sort of like smaller teaser type of trailer for Final Fantasy 16, but also let people know that there's going to be more information shown at Summer Game Fest. That way all the people that are watching State of Play will potentially tune into Summer Game Fest as well. Now that's just a bit of speculation, of course. These events are not just about Square Enix or just about Final Fantasy, but personally that's why I'm tuning in. Now, moving beyond this, the other update that we have is we actually got a partner lineup for Summer Game Fest, and there's going to be more announced, but the main takeaway from this, at least for us here in the community and on this channel, is that Square Enix is confirmed to be a part of Summer Game Fest. It's something we've been talking about, it's speculated for a while, but now we have confirmation. And with confirmation of Square Enix being at Summer Game Fest, we of course got a reference back to those Nomura quotes. Earlier this year, January, he talked about multiple FF7 projects that were started up after the Remake project. And then more recently, Nomura talked about how for the 25th anniversary for Final Fantasy VII, within June, there are going to be various FF7 announcements. So it just feels like to me that Summer Game Fest has to be it, right? There's other, I think, like random, smaller gaming events throughout June somewhere, but like, this is the big one, obviously. Right? This is the big summer gaming event. So why wouldn't they do this here? This is where it's got to be. Unless they want to do a Square Enix Presents sometime within the month of June, this has to be where these 25th anniversary things are going to be at. And this itself isn't news. This is what we've been talking about and speculating for the last like 2 weeks or so, but it's nice to have confirmation that Square Enix is going to be a part of Summer Game Fest. That's the part we weren't 100% about. We just assumed that was the case. And actually, even beyond Square Enix being a part of Summer Game Fest, there's actually another place that we could potentially get information from, whether that's for 16 or the Remake project, or maybe even potentially stuff involving, you know, the 25th anniversary for FF7, or maybe even like the 9 remake, if that ends up being a thing, like who knows exactly. But if we look back at that partner lineup, we can see that PlayStation is indeed a part of this event. And obviously 16 is a PS5 exclusive, the Remake project is PlayStation exclusive, a 9 remake could potentially be a PlayStation exclusive, I don't entirely know. And if there ends up being more games announced for the FF7 compilation, right, for the 25th anniversary, that could also be some sort of console exclusive. So there's multiple opportunities, more than one. We don't just have to look towards the Square Enix showcase for Summer Game Fest. The PlayStation showcase could also have some Final Fantasy reveals. And more or less, it's going to be the video, my dudes. I mean, we're already kind of regurgitating stuff we've been saying in the last couple of videos about game events and what may or may not be there. We should definitely 100% have something for 16, whether that's State of Play or Summer Game Fest, and also in terms of the 25th anniversary, Ever Crisis has to be one of the games that they show or talk about. Now, clearly we're excited for some 16 information. We've been on a bit of a dry spell for quite some time now, but I can't help but be excited for whatever the hell these other FF7 projects are. Outside of the potential for a rhythm game that maybe it's FF7 themed, or maybe it's Final Fantasy themed. Whatever these FF7 projects are, dude, multiple projects, plural, like what the hell could these be? I'm super excited for it, whatever it is. There's a lot of potential, there's a lot of hype for these upcoming gaming events, and I hope that they live up to the hype to some degree. I'm not expecting everything that we're all talking about to be at these events. If that is the case, that'd be fantastic, but at least some of the things that we're thinking. Anyways, dudes, that is going to be the video. Hopefully you enjoyed it. If you did, give it a thumbs up. Subscribe to the channel if you guys already want to do more State of Play / Summer Game Fest news / Remake 16, 9 Remake, 7... 25th anniversary announcements, news. Turn on notifications, follow me on Twitter, _DavidYT. I'm a Discord, link to those networks are in the description, in an outro. Later, guys.
Used to care what people thought, but now I care more, and nobody out here's got it figured out. So therefore, I've lost all hope of a happy ending, depending on whether or not it's worth it. So insecure, no one's perfect. We spend it with no shame, we blow that. Like Coltrane, we in here. Like Logain, or leave it. Like Cobain.